Well, thanks for staying with us on the program this morning as we move on to our concluding interview for the day. Much talk in Nigeria has been on the need for a national population and housing exercise, a census, one that beyond counting our population as a people, also provides statistics and data to aid in our national planning. Now, in ADBN Television this morning, we'll be looking at this issue from a number of angles. First off, under the then President Muhammadu Buhari administration, a budget was rolled out. Preparations had begun to conduct the national exercise, but owing to its proximity with the 2023 general elections, the onus was handed over to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to conduct the national population census. Now, the president had some concerns raised over the budget as proposed for the conduct of the census. He's seeking a reduction of the 942 billion naira that was proposed as budget for the exercise. He had also constituted a committee to review the gray areas in the planning for Nigeria's population and census. Well, this morning on the program, we'll be speaking to the Director of Media and Publicity under the National Population Census. We'll be talking to Erelu Taibat Yemioloruntoba, who would be answering a number of questions as to the level of preparedness of NPC on the conduct of the census and its commitments to its mandates. Well, good morning to you, man. Welcome to the program. First off, I'd like to begin with the broad question of the commitment of NPC to her mandates, and in one way also reminding Nigerians that beyond the conduct of the census, the NPC has other functions that it owes as a duty to Nigerians.
Of course. Does that census is one that the entire people, the people, when they heard about NPC, they are thinking about census. No. We have so many other mandates given to the Commission under the constitutional mandate of the National Population Commission in the 1999 Constitution under Section 153, subsection 1J. The National Population Commission is listed as one of the federal executive bodies. According to the third schedule, part 1, paragraph 24 of the Constitution, the National Population Commission shall have power A. Undertake periodic enumeration of the population through census, sample surveys or otherwise. Establish and maintain a machinery for continuous and universal registration of births and deaths throughout the Federation. Advise the President on population matters and policies. Collect, analyze, and publish data on population and related matters, and perform such other functions as may be prescribed by an act of the National Assembly. Component of the mandates. For example, census operations, conducting accurate, periodic, and scientific population censuses, vital statistics, maintaining a nationwide system for the continual registration of births, deaths, and other vital events, population data analysis, gathering, analyzing, and disseminating demographic, social, and economic data, policy advisory, advising the federal government on population-related policies and planning, research and publication, conducting demographic research and publishing results for planning and academic purposes, support for development planning, providing data and data projections essential for national planning, development, and resource allocation. All these other things I've listed are part of our mandates. Census is one of the mandates, major one, but on daily basis, we are going about in the office and on the field, research and everything, carrying out birth registration, death registration, population policy. Every day we are busy doing other things. Part of us, we are into demography. We divide the enumeration, demarcation exercise which we carried out. In Population Commission here, we have the largest geospatial data in Nigeria. That there's no any other organization in Nigeria that can boast of having it. There's nothing we are not having in that in the landscaping of this country. We have it in our data bank here in National Population Commission, and there's no any other body that can boast of such.
Well, I must imagine that Nigeria, by landmass and population, happens to be the most populous nation in Africa. And talking about the NPC housing the largest geospatial data in Nigeria. How crucial it is to have an updated statistics in that regard. Because the last population census that was held in Nigeria was way in 2006. We have missed out on the 2010 round of censuses, on the 2020 round of censuses as well. And now we're also in the danger of missing out on the 2030 round of censuses, according to the directives as issued by the United Nations. What's your assurance to Nigerians on the Commission's resolve to meet in the 2030 rounds of population censuses?
I want to assure all Nigerians that the census is going to be conducted before 2030, because the president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, showed his commitment to the conduct of census by setting up the Census Advisory Committee to advise on the matter. So, and the committee was given the mandate to conduct a thorough review of the existing census budget to align it with current fiscal realities and national priorities, to recommend feasible funding sources for the census, distinguishing between domestic resources and external partnerships, developing a comprehensive resource mobilization strategy that engages potential development partners, international agencies, and domestic private sector entities, assessing the existing preparations, logistic and technical capacities of the NPC, recommending areas needing immediate strengthening, suggesting an optimal and realistic date for the next population and housing census, considering funding availability and other national factors. By setting up that committee and giving them these areas of working through, that itself has shown the commitment of Mr. President that is ready to conduct census more than ever before. That very committee, sending up that committee, has shown and demonstrated that Mr. President is ready to go for census.
Welcome to the Niger Delta, a region of incredible beauty and stark contrast. From its breathtaking landscapes to its rich cultural heritage, this is a place where history and modernity collide. But beneath this serene surface lies a story of struggle and resilience. The Niger Delta is the lifeblood of Nigeria's economy, home to vast oil reserves that fuel the nation, yet it is a land where the people fight for their share of the wealth. Join us on the program Niger Delta Today as we explore the heart of the Niger Delta, discover the vibrant cultures, the struggles for environmental justice, and the stories of the people who call this place home. This is the Niger Delta, a land of contrast, a story of resilience, a journey of hope. Don't miss our exclusive series, Niger Delta Today, every day at 12 noon, only on ADBN TV. Witness the untold stories, experience the journey, be part of the change.
For that break, we were in a discussion with Erelu Taibat Yemioloruntoba, Director, Public Affairs Department of the National Population Commission, and we're talking about the level of preparedness of NPC for the 2030 round of census. She was also harping on the President's dedication and commitment to ensuring that the censuses are conducted within the window for the 2030 round of censuses. Ma, my next question to you is on your reaction to concerns by Nigerians on the politicization of the census, owing to the fact that some regions are debating on the figures being unduly influenced to reflect resource sharing and allocation of government resources. What's your reaction to the fear by the regions?
We in NPC, we had always wanted to conduct a biometric census as far back as 2016 when we started. But because biometric census was not part of a 2020 UN the UN 2020 round of census, we stepped back. But now that we have a president who is data driven, who loves a biometric census, we are very happy that here in NPC, the next census is going to be biometric census. We are gathering data on socio-economic and demography for the purpose of national planning and development. We are not gathering data on religion or ethnicity. Our purpose in NPC is to gather data for national development based on socio-economic and demographic indices.
And now you mentioned the importance of a biometric census. Quite notably, biometric censuses were not part of the 2010 or 2020 round of censuses. They're only coming into conversation at a time that the federal government, under the watch of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has also emphasized the importance of biometric data. Although I would like to clarify, because we understand that the National Identity Management Commission is saddled with that responsibility of registering Nigerians and issuing them national identity numbers, otherwise known as NIN. How does the NPC and NIMC share this responsibility? Because they've also been mentioned in the Presidential Committee to look into the preparedness levels for the 2030 round of censuses.
Our National Population Commission, we have never been working in isolation from time. With other data gathering agencies like National Bureau of Statistics and NIMC, we have always been collaborating. We are in a National Population Commission. We are the one that's providing a foundational identity. You cannot get your NIN without having the birth certificate from National Population Commission if you are birth certificate and attestation if you are an adult. We are the one, though the NIMC leverage on our data for them to proceed. And so during census, this collaboration actually will still work, and we partner together to give a credible census to Nigeria.
Well, debates on the credibility of the census have never been in question. The challenge with it is beyond having to count Nigerians. Nigeria is currently experiencing a housing deficit. Affordable housing has been an issue, and even the condition of housing as it stands is even more worrisome in a time that there are more internally displaced persons owing to infighting and conflicts across the region. For the NPC, how does it prioritize addressing the housing deficit by providing a credible statistics for the government in planning to address the current housing deficit in the country?
That is why in National Population Commission, our approach is holistic during census. We are not, unlike other data generating agency, that we only ask you about demographic questions about your age, your sex, and your address. Here in National Population Commission during census, our approach is holistic. The data we are generating, we ask you your age, your sex, your type of house you are living, the type of job you are doing, your status, your marriage, your number of your children. Are you married? Are you divorced? What was your age when you married? All these holistic questions we ask them, so that when the housing deficit or even the type of accommodation that you are living and all that, the people who needed that very data, they take whatever they need from the data we are gathering. when we are conducting census, we are asking so many questions. It's not just say okay, you 1, 2, 3, 4, or your age, your sex, or your no. We ask so many questions: your demography, your social status, everything, your education. How many education institutions do we have around there? This and that, the work you are doing, your earnings, everything. The type of amenities you are using in the house, while you are disposing your waste, everything, and even the road, the number of buildings, everything. We already have it in our data. All that will be taken care of during census.
Well, it's somewhat reassuring to hear from you that the NPC is holistic in its approach, and all this demographic data needed for better national planning will be brought to bear in the forthcoming census. Now, let's talk about the future of Nigeria, particularly when we're being dubbed the most populous nation, in terms of having particular interest in our population as a people, especially for the youths in the country in terms of future planning. How important is it to have birth certifications issued at birth, and the challenges with coming up with a comprehensive national social register? These have been some concerns that have been brought to bear in recent times when the federal government has looked to reel out social intervention program. There's been heavy criticism on the lack of an accurate national social register, one that captures indigent Nigerians that are to benefit from these programs. Is the NPC looking at having a digitalized database, one that updates when a person is born and also makes adjustments when there is a sad demise or a loss of life?
Right from time, National Population Commission is the only constitutional body empowered to issue birth certificates. The local government, they gather their information. We are not talking only about hospital now. Even the people that gave birth in traditional attendance home, even people that gave birth at home or anywhere you give birth, or any in the locality, yes, the information will be gathered by the local government people. That's why in National Population Commission, we have offices in 774 local governments all over the nation, so that we have officers there, not only even in the local government, we have them in everywhere you can think about in the local government. So those people will only gather the information and bring the information to National Population Commission, and we issue the birth certificate.
Now, just before we let you go, Ma, we would like to get the level of your assessment in terms of preparations and the National Population Commission's commitment towards the next rounds of census.
Conduct census. When census is being conducted and census functionaries are going about asking questions about your status, your job, where are you living, the type of accommodation, the type of job you are doing, how much are you earning, what facilities do you have in your house, how are you disposing your waste. With that, we will know the vulnerable Nigerians, the indigents who can be classified into that social register.
Well, we must thank you, Erelu Taibat Yemioloruntoba, for taking out time to keep Nigerians abreast with the level of preparedness of the Commission towards the next census exercise and its honors to deliver on its mandate. We appreciate you, Ma.
We in National Population Commission, we are committed in providing reliable data for national planning and development.
Thank you very much, Ma. Well, she's also reiterated President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's commitment in that regard. The President has commissioned a committee to look into areas as it concerns the census budget and government's present financial realities. The request was that 942 billion naira be budgeted for the conduct of census, which the President says is quite a humongous figure, and also citing lack of adequate manpower for the conduct of the exercise. We'll keep you abreast with more developments once the committee finalizes its reports and is made available to media outlets. Well, this is as much as we can take as Nigeria moves closer to preparations for the next census.